was a great turnout, and we appreciate you being here very much. As I go around this city, and gone around the country, I'm feeling more and more that we are going to pull off one of the great political upsets in the history of the United States. I'm trying to tell you that the momentum all over this country is with us. We've won 7 out of the last 8 caucuses and primaries. When we began this campaign, we were 3% in the polls, about 60, 70 points behind Secretary Clinton. The last 3 polls, national polls, 2 of them had us in the lead. And when you look at the general election matchup up against Donald Trump, last CNN poll had us 20 points ahead of Trump. Crucial for this whole thing is New York State. That is really, really crucial. This is the state, of course, that where Secretary Clinton was senator for 8 years. And if we can win here, it will send a message to the rest of the country and to all the states yet to come that the political revolution is upon us. It is an understanding that all of us know, is that no president alone can address the many crises facing this country, because the powers that be, whether it is Wall Street, which has literally endless supplies of money, whether it is corporate America, which shut down plants in America and move abroad if they can make $5 more, whether it is the corporate media, whether it is the wealthy campaign contributors, they have a lot of power. And the only way we beat that is when millions of people come together and stand up and demand a government that represents all of us, not wealthy campaign contributors. Now, one of the things that I am really happy in that regard is that in terms of how we raise money at this campaign, what we have done is unprecedented in American history. It's really unbelievable.
Yeah.
Up to this point in the campaign, we have received over 6 million individual campaign contributions from more than 2 million people, averaging $27 a piece.
We love you, Bert!
Thank you.
Yeah!
Let me close. And that kind of shows that you can run a winning national campaign without being dependent on Wall Street and the big money interest. And that in itself is pretty revolutionary. Now, I'm going to be speaking over there in a few minutes, so I'm not going to give you the whole speech, just be abbreviated. The Bernie for Dummies speech. But here are some of the issues that we're focusing on. And I think the strength of our campaign is treating the American people with respect and intelligence, and in fact, dealing with the real issues. So what are the real issues? One, we have a corrupt campaign finance system that allows billionaires to buy elections. That is not what democracy is supposed to be about. That's not what people fought and died for. I believe one person, one vote, not billionaires buying elections. Number 2, in that regard, we have Republican governors all over this country trying to suppress the vote. Hard to believe that all of the struggles that we have gone through as a nation, all of the torturous path that we have gone through to expand democracy, make sure that everybody, regardless of their skin color, being able to vote, these guys are now trying to roll all of that back. We're going to deal with that. I believe that at the end of the day, voting is about being 18 years of age, a citizen of this country. You have the right to vote, end of discussion. Number 3. As all of you, I'm sure know, we have a rigged economy. And that simply means that almost all the wealth and income being generated today is going to the top 1%. and we have the most unequal distribution of wealth and income amongst any major country. That means this is really incredible. It doesn't get reported in the media, which is another part of our national problem, in that the most serious issues facing the American people really do not get discussed very often. But what you have is the top 1/10 of 1% now owning almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. Yeah, Jesus is right. Frankly, you know what? I don't think Jesus would approve of that.
Yeah! Woo!
As a matter of fact, I'm going to the Vatican next week.
Yeah! Woo! Woo!
I don't think Pope Francis approves of that either.
Yeah! Woo!
You have a really grotesque level of income and wealth inequality. And then you have, in terms of income, people working incredible hours in this country. Like all over the country, people are exhausted. They're working 50 or 60 hours. Mama's working, dad's working, the kids are working. And at the end of all that, 58% of all new income goes to the top 1%. So it's pretty crazy stuff. That is what a rigged economy is about.
Can't pay my loan.
That's right. I'm going to get to that in a minute. That's exactly part of it. Right? So you have all people working incredible hours. Almost all the income goes to 1%. So what do we have to do? And it's not hard. We know what we have to do. We create an economy that works for the middle class and working families, not just for the 1%. And number 3, you've got a broken criminal justice system that we have to address. But we have more people in jail. We have more people in jail, disproportionately African American, Latino, and Native American, than any other country on earth. 2.2 million people in jail, spending $80 billion a year locking up fellow Americans. We're going to address that issue. And then you got the issue that you raised here. In the year 2016, when we talk about public education, it is not good enough to continue talking about first grade through 12th grade. I went to very good public schools in Brooklyn. I went to PS 197, went to James Madison High School, excellent schools. But technology and the world's economy have changed. And people simply today need more education than they did 50 years ago. That's just the way it is. So when we talk about public education, in my view, we should talk about making public colleges and universities tuition free. And we have to deal with your issue, and that is student debt. There are millions of people in this country who have student debt of 30, 50, 70,000. They're paying it off over decades. And it's really disrupting their lives. I mean, if you're paying 20, 30% of your income in student debt, you don't have the money to buy a car, buy a home, get married, have kids, whatever it may be. That's pretty crazy. Fourthly, we got to deal with issues like immigration, reform, and need for comprehensive. Crises, and I've seen that. It's like, you go all over the country, you see these things. Chicago, the public school system, very serious problems. Detroit system almost falling apart. Major problems here and there. So we have got to deal with inner cities all over this country where unemployment is sky high, healthcare access is unacceptably low, where the schools are not good, in some cases physically crumbling. I was in the South Bronx last week, and I was told that 1 out of 4 children in that community are suffering from asthma from breathing the crap in the air. All right? This is unacceptable. And we have got to reinvest. And I was in Flint, Michigan, which was a heartbreaking day to hear what the people there are experiencing. And in the midst of all of this, maybe the major theme of this campaign is to think big, not small. Not to allow the media to define for you what our options are. We're the only major country that doesn't guarantee health care to all people as a right. We're the only major country that doesn't provide paid family and medical leave. We are in this country today seeing our infrastructure, water systems, wastewater plants, roads, bridges collapsing. We are a nation in which people are leaving school deeply in debt, which is disrupting their lives. We have more people in jail than any other country. Highest rate of childhood poverty of any major country on earth. Why? Why? And it has everything to do, in my view, with the power and greed of the people on top who could care less about anybody else other than their own profits.
Bring up the banks.
Yeah! Woo!
It does take us to Wall Street, it does take us to corporate America, it takes us to a disastrous trade policy, it takes us to a minimum wage today of $7.25 an hour, it takes us to the issues of pay equity for women who get 79 cents on the dollar. All of those issues out takes us to the global crisis of climate change.
Woo!
I leave you with this because I want to get going to the other room. But the main point is, you know, Secretary Clinton and many others basically say, think small. Don't have a big vision. Maybe we can do a little bit here. And what I believe is that if you look at the history of this country, whether it is the trade union movement, whether it's the civil rights movement, whether it's the women's movement, whether it's the gay movement, whether it is the movement we're seeing right now, the fight for 15, all of these movements succeed because of grassroots activism. Nothing happens from the top on down. It always happens from the bottom on top, on going up. Your governor recently signed a bill for $15 an hour, which is an excellent thing. It was not the governor's decision to do that. It was the people who told him to do that. That is how
Yeah!
change always comes about.
Political revolution.
That's right. When people start moving, then the leaders start following. All right? And if those leaders start following, we get new leaders. But that is where we are right now. In a country which has many crises, in a nation in which many people are politically demoralized. But what this campaign has succeeded in doing, and I would not have predicted that it could have, is we are rallying people, a lot of young people, you know? And this is so gratifying. You know, I was told, well, young people, you know, they're not interested in politics, they're not interested in government. Go to some of our rallies. We have 20,000 people there, mostly young people with hope in their eyes who understand that we just the introduction to when you're out. Really good stuff is going to take place. We don't have the TV here, do we? We do. No, just all right. So a lot of the speaker system. All right. Thank you very, very much.